Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on a secret weapon that can totally transform a restaurant's bottom line. And you know what? It's probably sitting right in front of you. Let's get into Your Menu's Secret Power, a guide to menu engineering. So let's just kick things off with a big question. When you look at a menu, do you just see a list of food? Or could it actually be the most powerful, most persuasive salesperson you have on staff? That's the idea we're going to really dive into. So, what's the secret sauce here? Well, it's a process called menu engineering, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's part science, part art, all focused on designing your menu to, you guessed it, boost profits. But, and this is key, you do it while making sure your customers are absolutely thrilled. It's about turning that list into a lean, mean, profit-making machine. Okay, so how in the world do you actually do this? I know, it sounds kind of complicated, right? But what if I told you it all boils down to just two key numbers? Once you figure these out, you'll know exactly which of your dishes are the true champions. So let's get into it. It's really just a simple two-step dance. Step one, you figure out how much actual profit each dish makes. That's called the contribution margin. Step two, you figure out how much people love it. Its popularity. We measure that with something called the sales mix percentage. So profitability and popularity. That's it. See? Not so scary. All right, let's tackle step one. Your profitability or contribution margin is super simple to figure out. It's just the selling price of the dish minus what it costs you to make it, the ingredients. This is so crucial because we're not talking about revenue. We're talking about the cold, hard cash that goes into your pocket every single time that dish is ordered. Let's make this real. Imagine you've got a beautiful grilled salmon on the menu. You sell it for 25 bucks. But the fish, the veggies, the spices, all of that costs you $10 to put on the plate. Well, 25 minus 10 is 15. That $15 is your profit, your contribution margin. That's the number we're hunting for. Okay, profit? Check. Now for step two, popularity. How do we measure what's a hit and what's a miss? Easy. You just take the number of times you sold a specific dish, divide that by the total number of all the dishes you sold in that same period, and then you multiply by 100. Bam! You've got a percentage that tells you exactly how popular that item is. So let's stick with our salmon, right? Let's say in 1 month, you sold 150 of them. And in that same month, you sold 1,000 dishes total. Well, 150 divided by 1,000 gives you 0.15, meaning that salmon accounts for 15% of your sales. So now we have it. Our two magic numbers, a $15 profit and 15% popularity. And this, my friends, is where the fun really begins. See, once you have those two numbers for every single item on your menu, you can start to categorize them. The best way to think about it is like your menu is a sports team. Every dish has a specific role, a position to play, and they all fall into one of 4 very distinct categories. And this right here, this is the playbook. Welcome to the menu engineering matrix. It's super simple. Across the bottom, you've got popularity, going from low to high. And up the side, you've got profitability, also from low to high. Every single item on your menu is going to land in one of these 4 boxes: puzzles, stars, dogs, or Plowhorses. Let's start with the absolute best of the best, your stars. These are the dream items, high profit and high popularity. They are your MVPs, your superstars. The strategy here? Don't mess with them. Feature them, make sure the quality is perfect every single time, and never, ever run out. You might even be able to nudge the price up a tiny bit. People already love. Okay, next up, we have the Plowhorses. Now, these guys are your workhorses, for sure. They are super popular, everybody orders them, but man, they don't make you much money. Think about a classic burger with a razor-thin margin. The goal here is to make them more profitable. Can you find a cheaper supplier for the buns? Or maybe bundle it with a high-profit soda? Even a tiny price increase can make a huge difference with these. Ooh, now these are interesting. The puzzles. You make a ton of money on them, but nobody seems to order them. These are your hidden gems. Your job is to solve the puzzle. Why aren't they selling? Maybe you can move it to a better spot on the menu, or train your staff to get excited about it and recommend it. Sometimes, just giving it a cooler, more descriptive name can turn that puzzle into a star. And finally, we have the dogs. Yeah, low profit, low popularity. These items are basically your bench warmers. They're just taking up valuable real estate on the menu. The first thing you gotta ask is, should we just get rid of this thing? If the answer's no, then it needs a total makeover. A new recipe, a different presentation, something's gotta change or it's gotta go. All right, you've done the math, you know your stars from your dogs. Awesome. But that's only half the battle. Now we get to the really fun part, the actual physical design of your menu. Because how you present all this stuff is just as important as the numbers themselves. So get this, we don't read menus like we read a book. Not even close. Eye tracking studies have shown that we all kind of do this weird little dance with our eyes. We look at the middle first, then we shoot up to the top right corner, and then over to the top left. This golden triangle is prime real estate. So, where do you think you should put your stars? You got it, right in those hot spots. Speaking of psychology, here's one of the easiest and most powerful tricks in the book. Just look at the difference here. By simply removing the dollar sign, restaurants can actually increase sales. How crazy is that? Well, it's because that little symbol constantly reminds our brain that we're spending money, which creates what they call the pain of paying. Take it away, and the price just becomes a number. It softens the blow. Have you ever opened a menu that's basically a novel and your brain just short circuits? That's a real thing. It's called decision fatigue. So the golden rule of 7 is a great guideline. It suggests that in any one section, like appetizers or entrees, you should have about 5 to 7 options. Any more than that, and you just overwhelm people. And when they're overwhelmed, they just order the safe thing instead of maybe trying that high-profit puzzle you want them to buy. All right, want to hear a few more quick design wins? Here we go. Put a box around your star dishes to make their pop. Use fonts that are easy to read, not super fancy ones. People need to scan, not struggle. Don't be afraid of white space. It makes your menu look cleaner and more high-end. And hey, use warm colors like red and orange. They've been proven to stimulate the appetite. But here is probably the most important takeaway of all. This is not a one-and-done kind of deal. Your menu is a living, breathing thing. Customer tastes are going to change, your food costs are going to fluctuate, and your menu needs to be ready to evolve right along with them. And that really brings us to this quote, which just nails it. Your menu isn't just a list of dishes, it's a strategic sales tool. You've got to stop thinking of it as a simple list and start treating it like the powerful piece of your business strategy that it is. Because it really is a cycle, a constant loop of improvement. You analyze the data, you categorize your items into those 4 groups, you apply all these cool new pricing and design strategies, and then, and this is the most important part, you measure the results to see what worked, and you start the whole process all over again. So we'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you know the secret, now that you have the tools to decode the language of your menu, what is it actually telling you? What secrets about your business, your customers, and your hidden profits are just waiting there to be discovered? The answers are right there in black and white. You just have to know how to listen.